Hello and welcome back to Sportsnet. Lakers driven by your Southern California Honda dealers. Chris McGee, James Worthy, Derek Fisher, Allie Clifton is here. Brez and Trudell on the Zooms talking to the players. And as I did 9 years ago when the Lakers went 0-8 in the preseason, James, I would always say it's just a preseason game. So I'll do that when the Lakers are 2-0 because it is just a preseason game. But that was a really fun preseason game. 131 points the Lakers scored. 18 of 25 from three is just ridiculous. It's 72%, 28 assists. Without LeBron and AD, a lot of chemistry showing early, especially on the offensive end.
Yeah, I think, for the new guys that have arrived, it's an early snapshot. But, it's this fresh out of the bubble, a couple months off, it seems like they're right back in the mix. I mean, to not have LeBron and AD, the chemistry's good. You bring in some veteran players, Marc Gasol. He's like Tom Brady. He's like his brother was. He's an assist center. He's a trigger man. When he gets it at the top of the key, a lot of things can happen. And of course, the continuation of Tucker. I just like what I see in the team. They have bought into it. They're talking to one another. They're building something early. So even though it's a preseason game, there's a strong message being sent that they're going to be tough to deal with.
To me, this shows the importance of having franchise players that take their job seriously, right? Like if LeBron trains and prepares himself for every season the way that he does and sets the example of performing at an elite level year in and year out, leading his team to the finals year in and year out. Anthony Davis joins the team. He understands coming to the Lakers, that's a part of the history, the tradition. Number 23 works that way. I got to work that way too. Every person on this team understands that. To me, THT's performance is indicative of the culture that is back now, where when you're on this team, there's just a certain mentality that you bring. Everybody's serious, they're working hard, they're sharing the basketball. There's not a lot of antics and crazy stuff going on. Like, they look like they are intentional about being successful. It's the preseason, so the stats, we can throw that in and out of the window and talk about it all day. But there's a look in the eye that these guys are intentional about doing what they're doing. And that's what you want to see, even though it's the preseason.
The guy we all want to talk about that you just mentioned, Fish. They just showed you some highlights. There are his numbers. THT, Talen, Horton-Tucker, the second-year guard, went for 33 big game, James, tonight. He went for 19 on Friday. He's averaging over 25 in the preseason. He was 11 of 17, 4 of 5 from 3. But what about the 10 rebounds, the 4 steals, and also the free throws? 7 of 9. He plays hard. He plays defense. He's got confidence. We heard about him a lot during the summer when they got to the bubble from Frank Vogel. LeBron tweeting, this kid is the real deal. He's special. Big game, James. It's a lot of fun watching him. And on a night where there's Sunday night football, Laker fans are so great. THT is trending. People love him.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Iowa State, second draft pick. There's always a player like this that comes along. Fish was kind of like that. Came in, not really know what the expectations are. I had a kid out of my hometown, Sleepy Floyd. People won't remember, that's a long time ago. But
I do.
Guys who, they have the talent, they haven't been recognized, they've had to work on some stuff, and they never stop working. I mean, this kid right here has the prototype body for the game. I mean, and he has arrived, like Fish said, on a team where, they monitor each other constructively, and he's learning from that. I can't say enough about him, Geeter. I just can't wait to watch when the season starts. He does it all on the basketball court. He shoots the three. I didn't think he had that in him. Defensively, the extra length, when he reaches in, he had that steal against Kawhi. That never really happened. So, he's still got a lot to show us on the defensive end, but I tell you what, man, he's got a world of talent. World of talent.
Fish, I want to ask you a question. I want you to give us a different perspective, maybe from a coach's side or a guy that plays in the league, and there are people everyone looks and says, that kid's special. But there's also people where the NBA fans, they go crazy about their guy during a preseason game and then nothing. When do you know a guy's got something, and what do you see from THT?
Yeah, it's hard to say in game situations and in the preseason. I think the comments from teammates and coaches, that
tells you a little more.
That tells me a little more, right? Like 30 points in a preseason game, if you're playing 30-plus minutes, everybody in the NBA can play. So I don't want to get hype on the stats. But when you hear his teammates are not just hyping him up and he can't back it up.
And Kawhi's asking Wes Matthews, you know how old he is? Yeah.
His coach is not talking about him in this way, you know, and it's just noise. Like, this young man can really play basketball, and I think it's catching everybody off guard because we didn't get to see him a lot last year. So it's like he's coming out of nowhere. But I'll go back to what I said earlier. Like, this dude worked.
Yeah.
The offseason was different, right? Like, the season got disrupted in March.
He worked.
So that 3 or 4 month period, he worked, and it showed in the bubble when he did get minutes. Right now, we've had a couple more months, and he has still been working, and it's showing.
Yeah, I'm glad you share that perspective because James kind of gave me the idea. We were watching the end of this game, and he just looked at me and said, from where he is right now, he's all, "This isn't a fluke, Geeter."
No.
Like, I mean, you know, you guys watch a lot of guys, and you're like, this guy could play.
Yeah.
Yeah, fluke is every now and then.
Yeah.
This is consistency. And, you know, we're seeing, you know, him excel. But this is not the first time we've seen him. We saw flashes and glimpses of him when he got in the game. I think he overcame a foot injury, I think, Geeter. Yeah. So he had to overcome that, kind of slow him down a little bit. But this is a wicked talent right here, man. Maybe a late bloomer that, you know, didn't recognize him that much in college. You know, he wasn't a big-time scorer or outstanding. But sometimes these guys just keep the grind going, and they know in their head that they can play. They just keep grinding and keep grinding. And now his hard work has played off.
Yeah, Laker team's so deep, he's trying to make the rotation. Who knows? It looks good so far. Let's go back to Mike Trudell at Staples Center. He's joined by Marc Gasol. No AD or LeBron, but the champs are just out here having some fun, Fish.
Yeah, shooting the ball a lot better than they did on Friday night. Yeah, much more of an entertaining game to watch. THT back at it again. Kuz doing some good things. Quinn Cook shooting it well. Fun first half.
I'm having fun for the preseason, James. Usually I don't.
It's been a long time, Geeter. Meaningless game, but as Fisher pointed out, guys getting some good time together. Cook, Marc Gasol. I like what I'm seeing.
I like both of your suits tonight. Jack in the Box halftime report starts right after this. Hello again, alongside James Worthy and Derek Fisher. I'm Chris McGee. This is the Jack in the Box halftime report. Let's get you out to Staples Center. First half highlights, Lakers and Clippers, preseason game number 2. Marc Gasol getting the start. No LeBron James, no Anthony Davis. That makes me happy. Early in the first quarter, Talen, horton-tucker, need them resting. Continues to shine, strips the ball from Kawhi. And then Marc Gasol finds THT for 3. The kid stays hot. Twitter's loving it. And then James, Gasol, the quarterback.
Yeah, there's one thing about having a pass on time. The one thing I like about Marc Gasol, he makes a late pass sometimes. You got to keep your hands and your eyes up. Great passing.
Fish, how about THT with a step back?
Yeah, I thought this was a questionable shot, but he made it look good when it went through the net. Really feeling confident out there on the floor.
And there he is going to work. 16 points already. Big game, not done yet. Steal. Hands in the passing lane. KCP to THT.
Yeah, defense, hands in the lane, and a good finish. Tomahawk.
Just like that. Lakers score 70 points in the first half. They lead the Clippers 70-63. Sweet Lou off the bench was hot for the Clips. 12 points on 6 of 7. THT leading the way, though, with 18. 2 of 3 from 3, also added 3 assists. Kyle Kuzma with a hot hand as well with 13, and KCP with 11. More to come on the Jack in the Box halftime report. THT has come to play this preseason. 37 points through 6 quarters for him. The Lakers lead by 7 at the break. Stick it. It's a good start.
Lakers basketball is brought to you by Jack.
I was, going to come back.
Look at AD Sky to get that pass. Throw it down. Anthony Davis.